All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to WWE 2K19. Brand new WWE annual release. It is release day, and I'm checking the game out here for the very first time. And before I even do a single piece of content in the game, I want to check out the roster this year. I want to see who's in the game and what they look like. And, of course, their overall rankings, which is kind of interesting as well. The very first fighter in the game is Adam Cole, baby. Current NXT talent. Held the North American title in NXT for a little bit there. And, of course, part of the Undisputed Era. He's the first character there, 81. Aiden English, who's currently in a plot line on SmackDown that is really stupid, 73. AJ Styles, of course, the current SmackDown champion, 91. Aiko from the Authors of Pain, 78. Akira Tozawa, current 205 Live talent, also a former 205 Live Cruiserweight champion, ringing in at 76. We've got Aleister Black, former NXT champion. In fact, pretty great wrestler, pretty cool mystique, and he's built a lot different than other wrestlers. Let's put it that way. I actually like this guy as a talent. I can't wait for him to come back from injury. But anyway, 84. We've got, of course, Alexa Bliss, the former WWE Raw Women's Champion. Alexander Wolf, part of Sanity, a stable that just moved to SmackDown a couple months ago and pretty much has done absolutely nothing, which sucks because they're actually really good, but WWE has done nothing with them. So there he is, 76. Alicia Fox at 71. Alundra Blaze is in the game but locked. I guess I have to find a way to unlock her. Former WWE Women's Champion and one of the Hall of Famers. Andrade Cien Almas, a guy who was very good in NXT, moved into SmackDown. He's done some really good matches, but hasn't really had a very good plot line, in my opinion, since he moved to SmackDown Live. He's in there at 81, also former NXT champion. I think we all know who Andre the Giant is. They've got almost his 1970s, early 80s look in this game. Well, it's not a full afro. Kind of interesting here. Angelo Dawkins. Okay, part of the, oh God, what are they called? Why can't I remember the name of their group? It's a tag team in NXT. I can't remember the name of it. I even know the swag. They come up with the cup and the swag. What? Oh, the something Profits. I almost have it. The Street Profits. The Street Profits. That's what it is. The Street Profits. Yes, he's one half of that tag team in NXT. Apollo Crews, guy who was really, really good in NXT, and since they moved him to the main roster, has pretty much done absolutely nothing. I mean, he's had some interesting plot lines with, it's funny because I almost said the primetime players. It's not. It's Titus O'Neil's Titus Worldwide, but it sucks because he's really good, but they don't really do much with him. Arya Daivari, I believe he's currently injured. He was on 205 Live, Cruiserweight, and a pretty good wrestler, but got injured. Asuka, former women's champion, of course, held the NXT title. Excuse me, not women's champion, former NXT women's champion, and held that title longer than anyone else ever had. Since coming to the main roster, has had a lot of good matches, but really hasn't gotten much in the realm of plot lines. Right now, she's teaming with Naomi for random tag teams against the Iconics, like nothing going on with her. Bam Bam Bigelow, I loved Bam Bam back in the day, man. He was a talent. He was great on the mic. Amazingly good in the ring for a big guy. This guy could fly. He would flip. He would do crazy shit. Bam Bam. Thumbs up for Bam Bam. I wonder how you get him. Baron Corbin, the wet fart of WWE. Let's continue on. Batista. Why don't they have the Baron Corbin with the shaven head? And this should be Constable Corbin. Anyway, Batista from 2010, because they don't want modern Blue Tista, who everyone booed the hell out of WWE. There you go. Bailey. It's Bailey. Okay. Becky Lynch, the current SmackDown Women's Champion. Very nice. Only rating at 83. I think she should be higher. Beth Phoenix, Hall of Famer. Former, of course, Divas Champion. Multiple-time Divas Champion. Very nice. Current commentator on the Mae Young Classic on the WWE Network. There you go. Bianca Belair. I'm super surprised she's in this. So she's an up-and-coming NXT talent. She's very good in the ring. Does not typically have the build of a normal female wrestler. and has a couple interesting gimmicks and things. I think she's up and coming. I think she's going to do well eventually. I do. I have a feeling that she's going to do pretty well. Big Boss Man. Man, now that's old school right there. The Big Boss Man, back in the 80s and 90s, was actually one of my favorite guys, one of my favorite faces. Another guy who, even though he was a big guy, could do a lot of stuff in the ring that you wouldn't expect. Also was great on... Oh, what the hell? I fucked up, apparently. Yeah, I did. I hit a trigger and it jumped ahead a letter or something. But anyway, really good, really good. Classic wrestler. Good to see him in the game. Big E Langston. Of course, now he's just Big E, part of the New Day. Multiple-time tag team champions. Current tag team champions on SmackDown. The Big Show, who we haven't seen wrestle in quite a while, but good to see him here in the game at 82 rating. Not surprised that he's a low rating now. Billy Kay would have the Iconics, part of a tag team on SmackDown, and they actually were really good in NXT for a while too. Bo Dallas, I feel bad for him because basically came from NXT to the main roster at WWE. They did absolutely nothing with him at all. Basically horrible plot line, and then basically buried his ass. Then they made him part of the Miztourage, which at least gave him something to do, which was good. But then after that, they put him into a tag team, the B team, which then ended up winning the tag team titles. Then as they hold the titles, they completely downgrade the team to be a piece of shit. They basically don't win anymore. They took away their fucking awesome entrance music, gave them generic shit music, and basically made them like a kid's stable that no one cares about. And he's the brother of Bray Wyatt, if you didn't know. Just a shame because I think the guy is really talented and they don't really give him his due. Bobby Fish, one of the people in the Undisputed Era, stable in NXT. Sadly, he got hurt many, many months ago and is still trying to recover, come back. Bobby Roode. I mean, Bobby Roode is pretty world-renowned. The guy, huge in TNA for the very extended amount of time that he stayed there. So he came to WWE, was really good in NXT, but sadly, I really don't think he's seen much popularity or success on the main roster. I think he held the U.S. title or whatever, but I wish they would do more with him instead of tagging him randomly with people and stuff. Braun Strowman, I don't even have to say nothing. And we all know that Braun Strowman's been pushed to the fucking moon, but he hasn't been given a title yet. Bray Wyatt, he's been around for a while. 83 rating is interesting for Bray Wyatt. Bret the Hitman Hart, awesome to see him in the game. Brie Bella, not going to comment. The British Bulldog, also awesome to see him in the game. He was a really cool wrestler back in the day. Actually, I liked him a lot back in the day, 80s and 90s. Brock Lesnar, at a monstrous 93 rating. Holy crap. They really buffed his. He's rated higher than AJ Styles, and he's not even a champion. Wow. Talking about buffing ratings, dude. Brutus the Barber Beefcake. Well, I don't know why he's in the game, but that's pretty funny. But anyway, he was, again, another 80s wrestler. Very over-the-top character. Carmella, former SmackDown Women's Champion. What's she rated at? 80? Alright, it's okay, I guess. Cedric Alexander, the former 205 Live Cruiserweight Champion. He just dropped the title to Buddy Murphy over this weekend at Super Showdown in Australia. But very, very good talent. This guy, what a story this guy has. So he was in a Cruiserweight Classic on the WWE Network, which is a series of tournament matches. And he didn't really win. I think he won one or two matches. He didn't win the thing, but the crowd was so crazy for how great this guy was performing in the ring. They basically screamed, "Hire this man," and then Triple H did. So I guess sometimes if you get the right crowd reaction, you can get good things come to you. I mean, he held the Cruiserweight title for a long-ass time. So, okay. Before we continue, got some shout-outs here to do. Let's see here. Geek Group Cheers says, what kind of pig-barreled horseshit game is this? Impact King Cheers says, have you seen any from the new Impact Wrestling? Nope. I've seen nothing. Nothing from new Impact at all. Above David Bennett says, damn, Bam Bam was on the very first WrestleMania game on NES. Yes, I think he was. Black Mage C-Type Cheers says, WWE 2K hype. We're looking forward to this since your WWE playthroughs are among your most entertaining for me. Please give Face Scan a try, even if it turns out hideous, as it only makes the playthrough that much more entertaining. Just go with it. Fingers crossed they've improved my career mode. Derek Cheers says, where's Constable Corbin, who... Oh, he did a spoiler for Raw last night, and I'm not going to do that spoiler. BWT Cheers says, wish they could have put Owen Hart in the game. That would have been awesome. And Buff David Bennett says, I saw Brutus Beefcake and an autograph signing this summer. It was pretty depressing. Well, I don't know. I don't know what he's doing these days. Anyway, let's continue. Cesaro, one half of The Bar tag team. One of the best wrestlers in the world, in my opinion, and a guy who should get a lot more recognition and should have gotten a push, in my opinion, for a top spot. Sadly, WWE just doesn't like certain characters, and they didn't like Cesaro's character, and so he's a tag team guy now. Like, it sucks because I think he's one of the better wrestlers in the company, and if he were like in title contention, he would be kicking ass. So just like he's like on the level of Seth Rollins, if not higher. Yet he doesn't get the credit Seth does for some reason. Chad Gable, yeah, he's pretty good in the ring. They really haven't given him any good plot lines whatsoever. He's currently in a tag team with Bobby Roode. Charlotte Flair, of course, the multiple-time former women's champion, currently in a plot line with Becky Lynch, daughter of Ric Flair. They put Chris Jericho. Wow, they put 2 versions of Chris Jericho in the game. So they got modern old guy Chris Jericho with all the tattoos on his arm. But then they've got Chris Jericho from 2000 when he first debuted with the company, which is kind of cool. Christian, that's awesome. I don't know why these guys are locked. I guess you got to earn them through stuff in the game, right? Kurt Hawkins, oh my god. So he was one half of the Edgeheads. If you guys aren't aware, there was a tag team of guys called the Edgeheads back when Edge was basically the big guy on SmackDown in the mid-2000s. And it's funny because him and Zack Ryder were the 2 Edgeheads, and then they split up, and then Zack Ryder went on to at least have some success. Certainly not mainstream big success, but some success. In the WWE, this guy just didn't do anything. He's the quintessential jobber now. He hasn't won a single match. Curtis Axel, of course, one half of the B team, the other half of the B team with Bo Dallas. Again, a guy who I feel, if it was handled properly, would probably be really great in the company. Instead, he just gets mishandled constantly. Dana Brooke, of the women's division. Another one who I think that she has like a lot of potential in the ring as a wrestler, but again, they just put her into stupid things. Like, she was supposed to be paired with Emma, then Emma got hurt. So then they paired her with Charlotte Flair for a while. Then they stopped that plot line. Then she was with Titus Worldwide. Now she's not with Titus Worldwide anymore. Like, what the hell? She's all over the company and never really gets anything consistent. Really weird. Daniel Bryan. I don't think I have to say anything about Daniel Bryan, but I think it's pretty cool that they've got him at an 88 rating after just coming back a few months ago. Dash Wilder, one half of the, oh God. Why the hell can't I? Dash and Dawson, right? Dash and Dawson, tag team, and they no flips, just fists. They treat themselves like an old school tag team. They're not high flyers or anything, but instead they do a lot of technical moves and stuff. Surprisingly enough, they're pretty damn small. Like, when you think pro wrestler, you think a guy that's at least 6 feet tall. These guys are pretty short, but actually are quite good in the ring. DDP, oh my God, they put Diamond Dallas Page in the game this year. Why? I don't know why the hell they've got DDP in the game. He hasn't wrestled in a million years. At the same time, it's pretty cool that he's in there because, these days you don't hear much about DDP besides DDP Yoga saving people's lives and stuff. But he's a good guy. Dean Ambrose. Although this is the old Dean Ambrose before he got injured. So this isn't the current style Dean Ambrose, but he's at 86. Diesel. Oh my God. They got Kevin Nash in the game. Diesel. Rank of 87. Diesel is ranked higher than Dean Ambrose. Wow. Dolph Ziggler, who's currently in a plot line that's just a fucking clusterfuck in my opinion. Another guy who, like, in the company, I mean, at least he had a couple runs as SmackDown champion, which is good. World Heavyweight champion. At the same time, I definitely believe this guy could have been, at a higher level than he was. He is a great in-ring performer. I don't know why the company doesn't like him as much as other people. But he's currently in a plot line, with this weird stable. Do they even have a name? Does the stable, seriously, does the stable that he's in even have a name? I don't think they do. It's the weirdest stable. It doesn't even make any sense. The stable he's in with Braun Strowman and shit, like, it doesn't make any sense, but he's definitely a great wrestler. All right, Drew Gulak, one of the top guys on 205 Live, also good on the mic. Pretty great talent, in my opinion. Sad that he's on 205 Live and will probably never get any mainstream recognition, though. Drew McIntyre, he's also in the stable with Dolph Ziggler. Here's a guy who at NXT... what a story, Drew Gulak. He's originally a rookie in WWE. They push him to the moon before he's ready for it. And basically, he kind of squanders the opportunity, gets into trouble and stuff. And eventually, they put him as a jobber with 3-man band. So basically, he's like, I'm never going to do anything with my career. My career sucks. Eventually gets released from WWE, goes off to the Indies, totally changes his character, changes his look, works his ass off to become a much better pro wrestler, to the point where now WWE realizes he's one of the hottest talents in the indie scene. They want him back, so they re-sign him to NXT, and he has a pretty good run in NXT till he gets injured. And since he's come back to the, and then got put to the main roster, I mean, he's good, but he's not getting any real opportunities to really be himself. You know what I mean? Like, he's not getting a run for titles. He's just in these weird plot line with Dolph Ziggler and now with Braun Strowman. I just don't understand where they're going with it. 83 rating? 83 rating, okay. Dusty Rhodes, oh my god, the American Dream Dusty Rhodes in the game. That's pretty cool. 85 rating. What a legend. Eddie Guerrero, I think he'll always be in the game. They made him an 89, which is amazing. They gave him a really high rating this year. Edge also in the game at 89. That's really cool. Elias, this is so funny. So first he was called The Drifter in NXT. Then they changed his name, and they called him Elias Sampson. Then he gets to the main roster, and they changed his name to just Elias. But because of his plotline of having a guitar and playing music and making fun of every single crowd that he goes to, he's over. I mean, he's an okay wrestler. He's not great. He's an okay wrestler. But talk about a guy who, just because of his charisma and his ability to get over as a heel, has made him one of the top guys in the company. Even though he doesn't really get opportunities at titles, I assume that WWE really treats him well because he gets the crowd going. You know what I mean? Ranked at 82. That's all right, I guess. Ember Moon, in my opinion, one of the better female talents of the company. Just made it to the main roster of WWE recently, and honestly hasn't really done much. Currently in a plot line where she's tagging with Braun Strowman for Mixed Match Challenge, and it's just basically had random matches. I mean, last night, didn't she wrestle, who did she wrestle last night? It was a weird match. It was like face versus face, right? And she ended up winning. Oh, it was Nia Jax, and she ended up winning against Nia Jax via countout last night. It's weird. They bring these people up. You know, she's a former NXT champion, right? They bring them up, and they're really great in the ring talents, and then they have nothing for them. Why did you bring them up if you have nothing for them? You know what I mean? Like, if you had no intention of doing anything, why bring them from NXT to the main roster? Wait until there's something for them. I don't understand. But anyway, thank you, Tandem Outer, for a 50-bit cheer, and thank you, Buff David Bennett, for a 250-bit cheer. He says, you should be able to unlock 7 to 8 locked wrestlers off the bat just for pre-ordering the game. That's nice. I don't know how that works, though. I don't know how you unlock them. Let's get Buff David Bennett up on my leaderboard, then we'll continue looking through who's in the game this year. What I like about this is this year, a lot of these wrestlers are first timers in the WWE game, which is great because that means they get royalties, which they deserve, and you know, they get recognition. They get to be in people's matches and everything. Yeah, a lot of these wrestlers actually feel like it's a rite of passage. If you make it into the WWE game, it means you've kind of made it. You know what I mean? In wrestling. So I feel good. A lot of these NXT people now are getting in, which is really cool. Epico Cologne, one part of the Cologne brother tag team. My God, they've had a million names over the years. I mean, the Shining Stars, just the Colognes, Los Matadores. They've been like 10 different tag teams. I don't even know. Do they still even wrestle? They've got him in the game, but Eric Young, current leader of the stable Insanity, long-time TNA holdout until basically the whole company fell apart, and then he came to WWE. I hope eventually they do stuff with him, but sadly, like I said, since Insanity came to SmackDown, they haven't really done much with them. 79. Fandango, currently on the shelf, I believe, because he's hurt. You know, part of the Fashion Police, along with Tyler Breeze, ranked at 79. Finn Balor, this is one of the guys that I really, really, really strongly feel is underused in this company. Finn Balor's probably, if you actually look on paper, I'd probably say Cesaro, Finn Balor, and Seth Rollins are probably the 3 best wrestlers in WWE. Yet, look at their different levels of success. You've got Seth Rollins, who's at the top of the card, kind of. He's had world titles reigns, and now he has the Intercontinental title. So he's kind of up there. Then you've got Cesaro, who's in a tag team forever. Then you've got way down here Finn Balor. You know what I mean? Like, I feel so bad about Finn Balor. He's one of the best wrestlers in the world, and he just doesn't get many opportunities. I'm sure he's happy. He's finally made it to WWE. He's been there for a couple years now. He's the first Universal Champion, then he gets hurt, and then it's like, oh, well, forget about Finn Balor. Sucks. All right, let's continue on. Finn Balor Demon, they actually give him a higher rating. So when Finn Balor transforms to the demon and puts on makeup, he becomes a better wrestler, according to the game. That's pretty funny. Gentleman Jack Gallagher, 205 Live Talent, Cruiserweight. The Godfather, Hall of Famer. And at one point he was Papa Shango, then he came back as the Godfather, right? Goldberg. Oh my God. I don't know how I feel about Goldberg at a 90 fucking rating. I mean, it's okay he's in the game, but a 90 rating? The guy could never wrestle. A 90 rating. Goldust. Cool, because we haven't seen him in a while. Look at that face. Oh my God, look at that face scan. Holy shit. 76. Grand Metalik. Many of you probably have no fucking idea who this is. Grand Metalik is from 205 Live. He's part of the Lucha House Party stable, along with Kalisto and Fuck. Kalisto and Fuck. They're the Lucha House Party, just so you know. Kalisto and Fuck. But he's a good wrestler. He's a pretty all the luchadors that they've got, the 3 different luchadors in 205 Live are pretty good. Greg the Hammer Valentine. Holy crap. So, you know, one of the old school wrestlers of WWE. Cool to see him in here. He's been in here many times before, by the way. By the way, shout out to Pika Tits, who just resubbed for the 23rd month in a row. You're almost there, Pika Tits. You're almost at your 2-year anniversary. Thank you for the support. Luke Harbour, part of the tag team. Oh, God, what do they even call them? The Super Hammer Brothers. That's what they call them, right? The Hammer Brothers. They wear turtle shells and they throw hammers. I think their current plotline's stupid. I believe Rowan is currently injured, so he's not even really actively wrestling right now. But they were a pretty good dominating tag team as the tag title holders on SmackDown, and they'll probably come back and win them back again, right? The Bludgeon Brothers. They couldn't come up with anything better than that. Guitar Player just gifted a sub to Voltage Max. Congrats to Voltage Max for the gifted sub. Thank you, Guitar Player, for the support. And Impact King cheers it. To unlock these guys, you use the VC that is earned by playing the game. By the way, there are no MTs in this game. I don't even know what that means. What's an MT? Heath Slater. I feel real bad for this guy. He got way over, and now he's buried again. And they basically don't let him do anything, which is really stupid. Okay, then. Hideo Itami. Another guy I feel bad for because Hideo Itami, one of the best wrestlers in Japan. In fact, a lot of people actually say that CM Punk kind of copied a lot of his stuff off of Hitami's style. And he came to NXT years ago and was getting pushed alongside a lot of other guys in NXT and then got hurt really badly. You know, he's got big shoulder scars from the surgery that he needed. And he was out for a long-ass time. Okay? And then he finally came back and really hasn't done that much. Like, he was in NXT for a while. Then now he's on 205 Live, which is not the place where he fits. And I don't know if he's ever going to do anything in WWE that's very notable. It just sucks because he's a really good talent that kind of, just because of bad luck of the timing of his injury, kind of screwed him over, in my opinion. Lavrenta Beria did a 245-bit cheer and asked, have I ever considered a career in wrestling? No. Derek just cheered again. He says, this is my last contribution for the day. Cesaro is pound for pound the strongest wrestler in WWE, like Sheamus. Hideo Itami and Mustafa Ali are in their little rivalry on 205 Live. Okay. Continuing on. Ivory, former female wrestler and Hall of Famer, WWE. Jacqueline, same deal. Pretty cool to see her in it. Jake the Snake Roberts, holy shit, that's cool that he's in the game. Another Hall of Famer. Jason Jordan, currently out on extended injury. I think he hurt himself pretty bad in a match. Currently, he used to be one half of the tag team American Alpha, which was really hot in NXT. Then he came to the main roster, and they kind of just misused them. So they split the tag team up. They said he was Kurt Angle's son. I don't know how that one works. And then out on injury. So I guess we'll see what happens. He's a case of someone who they pushed way too fast, in my opinion. And so the crowd hated him. So maybe when he comes back, they'll rebrand him. Jeff Hardy, of course. one of the return guys in the past couple of years. You know, both Hardy Boys returned and had a really good program with a few different guys. Just recently had a program with both Shinsuke Nakamura and Randy Orton, and now he's out, I believe, on injury. Jey Uso, one of the Uso brothers, great tag team, still one of the best overall tag teams in the world, in my opinion. It's funny because it sucks just because they're brothers, they're twins, and they're getting a tag team. He'll probably never get anything outside of being a tag team wrestler, even though I know he probably could, but that's how this shit works, right? Jim the Anvil Neidhart, you know, passed away recently. Rest in peace, Jim. You know, Natty, his daughter, one of the best female wrestlers ever in the world. And he held his own back in the day. Was a really great wrestler and a good, from what I hear, an upstanding guy as well. So there you go. Awesome to see him in the game. Jimmy Uso, the brother of Jay, danced since day one-ish. All right. Jinder Mahal, what a funny story he is. A guy who, you know, when he came into WWE, really was pushed and then didn't get anything done. So then he was downgraded. He was part of the three-man band Jobber Squad for a long time, right? Then eventually was allowed to be pushed again as like a heel. He basically changed his look, changed his packaging, and tried to convince WWE he could do something as an Indian superstar. So they did, and they, you know, then for like a year they made him a top heel. He was holding the SmackDown title and beating guys like Randy Orton and stuff. And now he's back to jobber status. Like, seriously, he can't win a match, so. Alrighty then, what's his rating? 83. John Cena. We've seen enough. Johnny Gargano. Awesome to see him in the game. That looks just like him, by the way. One of the best wrestlers in NXT, in my opinion. He's one of those guys that I kind of feel bad because I think he's being underutilized. He has this weird plotline going, kind of like the Daniel Bryan plotline, where he always looks like he's going to be the ultimate underdog and he's going to win the big one, and then he always loses the big match. And this has happened like 4 straight times in NXT, and I feel real bad because he definitely deserves a lot more recognition than he gets. But I love the guy. I think he's a great guy, a great talent, and I really like everything he's done so far in WWE. Kairi Sane, that's cool to see her. She's only been around about a year in WWE. One of the big signings from Japan. Current NXT Women's Champion, and a pretty good talent. What's she rated at? 79. Kalisto, like I said, part of the Lucha House Party over on 205 Live, rated 75. Kane. Now, wait a minute. How many Kanes? We have 2 different Kanes. We've got current Kane, and we've got Kane from 1998. Why don't they show his arm, like, super roided? Because in 1998, everyone was still using steroids. That's pretty funny. So what is he? Currently he's at 80. Back then he was at 87. I actually agree with those ratings. Carl Anderson, part of the Good Brothers tag team. Also, you know, part of the Clique, along with AJ Styles, along with Finn Balor. They also be part of Bullet Club in New Japan. Came to WWE. He's done some good stuff tag team. I think he's happy where he is. Although I do wish they would do more because I think that him and his tag team partner are better than they get credit for. Cassius Ohno. Now, this is a sad story. I'm sorry. So, for those who don't know, Cassius Ohno used to be part of a tag team along with Cesaro. Only they weren't called Cassius Ohno and Cesaro. They were called Chris Hero and Claudio Castagnoli. And they were an amazing tag team. And when they were signed by WWE, they kind of came up around the same time. And if I remember correctly, I think originally he had an injury, but then he came back, and basically he was released by WWE. They didn't like him. And now he's back, but basically what they've turned him into is kind of like the guy on NXT who's the stepping stone. He's the guy who you have to beat, and if you beat him on NXT, now you get progression in your career or whatever. But it just sucks because I don't think we're ever going to see Cassius Ohno get any kind of a push in WWE. I don't even know if he'll ever make it out of NXT, which sucks. He's actually a really great wrestler. His style and everything for a big guy, because he is a big guy, is quite impressive. Some of the stuff he can pull off is pretty entertaining. And he can hang. He can hang on the level of Cesaro. Yet Cesaro, you know, got to the main roster years ago, and he's just floating around in NXT. It kind of sucks. You know what I mean? Well, what can you say? Kevin Nash, what? He was already in there as Diesel. They've also got him in here as Kevin Nash. He's just 2 entries. Kevin Owens. Wow, I'm actually surprised they gave Kevin Owens an 88 rating in this game. Because recently he really hasn't done much. I mean, he's getting beat up by fucking Braun Strowman. Now he's getting beat up by Bobby Lashley. He's getting beat up by everybody. I'm incredibly surprised that they have him in the game as an 88 rating. I think he's a great wrestler. Killian Dane, another member of Sanity, the new stable on SmackDown that they've done nothing with. They really pushed him a lot in NXT. So curious to see what they'll do with him if and when Sanity ever gets any credit. King Booker. Probably the height of Booker T's career when he was the main heel on SmackDown Live and he held the title many, many times. So pretty cool to see King Booker, Hall of Famer, in there. Kofi Kingston, of course, part of the New Day and current tag team holder, or current tag team title holder. Oh my God. The Ascension. Now, I don't want to say anything negative about the quality or the talent of the Ascension in the ring. I actually think they're a very good tag team in the ring. They have the worst fucking gimmick in WWE. They're supposed to be like, I don't know. It's like their gimmick is like 1980s, 90s cheese. So they were okay in NXT where that stuff can fly, but as soon as they hit the main roster, they became jobber jokes. No one took them seriously because their gimmick is so stupid. And I can't believe they haven't repackaged these guys yet because they are great talent and could do well if they would fucking make them something that people would believe instead of they're the minions of the apocalypse and blah, blah, blah. They don't even have a plot line anymore. For a long time, they were comic relief. Like, I don't know what we're supposed to think about them. You know what I mean? They're just dumb. I'm sorry. Anyway. Multiple Kurt Angles. We got Kurt Angle from 2001, which is his debut. And Kurt Angle from 2006. Pretty cool. And that was about when he left to go to TNA. Oh, what are the ratings? So 86 and 89. What I find funny here, they actually got him rated higher in 2006. I think, he was a rookie, but I think he was better back then. Kyle O'Reilly, another part of the Undisputed Era in NXT. Cool stable. And also a great wrestler. Lana, who in previous years, in recent years has actually become, I would say, more prominent in the WWE's women's division. Currently doing a lot of stuff with her husband Rusev. That's good to see her in there. 70, really low rating though. Lars Sullivan made it into the game. Wow. Now this, I did not expect Lars Sullivan to be in WWE 2K19. Relative up-and-comer, although he's been in NXT for a couple of years. They didn't really do anything with him until this last year. This guy is the living Zangief. I mean that. He is Zangief. His body, his style, he is Zangief. He could be Zangief in real life. He looks just like him. Pretty cool that he's in the game at a rating of an 80. And, currently in NXT, he's doing a couple throwaway plot lines. Lex Luger's in the game. Now, I don't know what version of Luger this is. I mean, he was in early 90s. He was in WWE for a while. Then he went to WCW for a long time. But I guess this is early 90s, I guess. Lince Dorado. He's the third member of the Lucha House Party over on NXT. Again, one of the Luchador group. Lita, that's cool to see her in here as a Hall of Famer and one of the best women's wrestlers of all time. Was part of the Hardy Boys stable. Liv Morgan, part of the current the Riot Squad stable on Monday Night Raw. Luke Gallows, the other half of the Good Brothers tag team, part of the, like I said, the clique with AJ and Balor, former part of Balor Club, or not Balor Club, Bullet Club. Mandy Rose, who I guess is in a stable with, I forget the other girl's name. We're gonna see her in a bit. Really, they haven't done much with her. She was gonna be in a stable with Paige, much like how Ruby Riott has her own stable on Raw. But then Paige got hurt and had to retire, so just kind of floating around, not really doing much. Maurice, of course, the Mrs. Significant Other, a former Divas champion in her own right. It's good to see her in the game, but she's not a full-time wrestler. So, kind of weird that she's in there, but Matt Hardy, who actually just retired, if those who don't know, Matt Hardy basically kind of retired. It wasn't officially announced, publicly, but on his Twitter, he basically kind of said, it's time for me to go home now. But it was really cool to see Matt Hardy come back to WWE with his new, broken plot line, even though that's not what they called it. They called it Woken. But, pretty cool. Pretty cool, Matt Hardy. Mickie James, currently on Raw as kind of almost the lackey or minion of Alexa Bliss. Cool to see her back in the company full time. She had a good run in TNA and then in the Indies, and she's back. The Miz, always, I'll say this about The Miz. A lot of people criticize him, say he's not the best wrestler. I think he's one of the best talents in the company. Consistently, he can entertain. He's a great heel. I like The Miz. I always have. I think that he's kind of underrated. And they had him at 86, which is kind of impressive that he's at that high of a rating in the game. Whatever happened to Mojo Rawley? Anyone know? Moving on. Montez Ford, he's the other half of the Street Profits over in NXT. They're a pretty good tag team, I have to say. I haven't seen too much of them, but I think they're pretty good. I don't know who this guy is. Mr. McMahon, some random guy off the street that they put in the game. I don't know. Maybe he won a contest or something. But there he is, Mr. McMahon. Never heard of him. Mr. Perfect, of course, a classic wrestler from the 1980s and 90s. His son, Curtis Axel, currently in WWE. Oh, my leg. Oh, I stretch my legs here. Cool to see him in the game at 83 rating. Also Hall of Famer, I believe, right? Yep. Mustafa Ali. In my opinion, one of the better, if not the top talents on 205 Live. A little underutilized. I think he should have maybe had the title for a while, but he never won it so far. But we'll see how he does. Naomi. We all know Naomi. In fact, in my opinion, what a success story. Because Naomi came in basically as to be used as like a side person, a manager, right? And was one of the Funkadactyls, stupid cheerleader group that was with fucking, what the hell was his name? I can't even remember. Brodus Clay or whatever. When he came in as the Funkasaurus, so stupid. But she was a former cheerleader, and what she did was worked her ass off to become a good wrestler. And now she's actually incredibly good. Her current glow gimmick in WWE was her idea. She's the one who pushed it hard with management, and it's huge. It's one of the most successful gimmicks in WWE. So good on her, and I'm very happy to see that she's very successful in WWE currently, and good to see her in the game. 82 ratings, all right, I guess. Natalya, we already talked about her. One of the best female wrestlers in the world, in my opinion. One of the best in WWE. On and off against success. She has had the women's title before. And then, of course, when it was the Divas title, she held it as well. Currently, she more is kind of focused on putting other people over. Like right now, from what I've understood, she actually is training Ronda Rousey. And to become better and better and better. And so, great that she's in the game. 83 rating, okay. Nia Jax. I heard she's the best, like a really nice person. I'm not a personal fan of her wrestling style. Basically a big woman throwing people around. 84 rating. Nick Miller, one half of The Mighty, a tag team in NXT. I'm actually surprised to see them in this as well, because really they haven't done that much in NXT. I guess we'll see. Nikki Bella, one of the Bella twins. I'm not going to talk about her. No Way Jose, man. I'm sorry. There's some people when they come in to the WWE, you know what's going to work and what's not going to work, okay? No Way Jose came into NXT dancing and with the stupidest gimmick, and I'm like, this is just not going to work. I mean, he may get over in NXT, but as soon as he hits that main roster, he's not going to be utilized. So what happened? He eventually got promoted to the main roster, and I don't even know what happened to him. He hasn't been on TV for months, so I don't know if he's hurt or if WWE just said, okay, it's not working, take him off. You can't have a guy, his name is No Way Jose, and all he does is dance. Like, what did you think would happen? What's funny is people are saying it's Adam Rose's brother. Yeah, because it's basically the same gimmick as Adam Rose. Like, he really is the same exact fucking gimmick. Stupid. Okay. Noam Dar, one of the top talents, in my opinion, on 205 Live. For some reason, they've rated him terribly here. He came back from injury recently and has actually been doing a lot of really great matches. He even earned his chance at a UK title shot in the future by winning a match at the UK event a couple months ago. Wow, I am very surprised Oni Lorcan made it into the game. So Oni Lorcan, along with his tag team partner, whose name eludes me, but if he's in the game, I'll call it out. Basically, were guys that were brought into NXT as people just there to be trainers. Like, you're there to wrestle matches, but you're never going to get over. And then all of a sudden, they kind of did. He tagged up with this other guy who kind of was in the same position as him. They became friends, and then they got over. Much like how DIY did, you know. And he's a great wrestler, and now they're just coming back right now. One of them just came back from injury, so we'll see how they do. But anyway, Oni Lorcan, I can't believe he's in the game. Otis Dozovic, I'm surprised he's in the game too. So he's one half of Heavy Machinery, a tag team of big guys. And what I mean by that is basically chubby guys in NXT. Although they are really good wrestlers. They actually can do a lot of good, impressive stuff in the ring. So it's cool to see him in the game. Paige, of course, this is funny because she doesn't wrestle anymore. She had to retire due to injury, neck injury. But she's the current GM of SmackDown. It was good to see her. You know, former Divas champion. So it's good to see her in the game. 83 rating. Papa Shango. So not only do we have the Godfather, but his other persona, Papa Shango, is also in the game here at a rank of 77. That's cool. Shout out to WJR who resubbed for the 3rd month in a row. Thank you, WJR, for the resub. Pete Dunne. Now, this guy's cool, all right. From the UK. He's known as the Bruiserweight. He is the current UK champion. UK champion, yes. WWE has a UK division now, but they really don't televise much of the stuff they do. They've tried to integrate some of the UK wrestlers into stuff like NXT and 205 Live, but hasn't really gotten mainstream recognition yet. Hasn't really made the main roster or anything. But he's the current UK champion and has been in a lot of plot lines in NXT recently. He's going to be in a triple threat match next week, I believe, for the North American title. So I'm a big fan of Pete Dunne. Really good wrestler, entertaining, very young, early 20s, but really good wrestler, in my opinion. 81, rating 81. Peyton Royce, the other half of the Iconics, Australian, heritage tag team, and currently on SmackDown Live, just won over Asuka and Naomi at Super Showdown this last weekend. Primo Colon, the other half of the Colon brothers. I already talked about them. Don't need to talk about them anymore. R-Truth, who actually is currently getting himself over along with Carmelo, which is pretty funny that they're one of the most over things on SmackDown. This guy, a veteran of the company, has been with the WWE for quite a long time. He used to be called K-Quick when he debuted, and then ended up doing his own thing later on. Many different plot lines and things. I mean, he's been with the company for a long ass time. But cool to see him in the game. Randy Orton. Not really didn't say much. Right now, they got him doing these weird plot lines where he's, putting his fingers through Jeff Hardy's earlobes and torturing people. Like, I don't know what they're going for. It's like it's the PG era of WWE where they can't do blood and stuff anymore. So they have him doing the most bizarre shit. I'm gonna take a rod and stick it through Jeff Hardy's earlobe and twist it. It's just like, what the fuck? Very odd stuff. Anyway, Randy Orton, there we go. A pretty good rating too at 87. Classic Randy Savage, 1980s Randy Savage, very nice. High rating, 89, very nice. Ravishing Rick Rude, also a mainstay of the 80s and 90s, a rating of 84. Razor Ramon, the bad guy. I wonder if he'll also be in here as Scott Hall. So this is from his WWE run in the early 2000s, rank of 85. Rey Mysterio, his DLC content for pre-ordering the game. I got him, pretty cool, 86 rating. Razor, the other half of the Authors of Pain tag team, 78 rating. Rhino, like I said, they're not doing anything with his partner currently. So he's just kind of, it's cool he's in the game. He's not really doing anything. Multiple versions of Ric Flair. 1988 Ric Flair and 1991 Ric Flair. That's cool that he's in there twice. Both at a 90 rating. Woo! And then we got, the model Rick Martel as well. They got a lot of Hall of Famers here in the game this year. Ricky Morton. I'm going to be honest, I don't know who the fuck this is. And I'm a lifelong pro wrestling fan. Who the fuck is Ricky Morton? The hell is this? Who is he? Anyone know who the fuck Ricky Morton is? Ricky Morton. I've never heard of him. What the? Alright, well. Right over my head, and I'm a lifelong wrestling fan. Ricky Morton. Oh, for the Rock and Roll Express? Oh my god. Why would they put him in the game? No one knows who the fuck he is. Alright, anyway, Ricky Steamboat from 1994. Of course, a Hall of Famer, one of the best wrestlers of all time. Very technical wrestler. Rikishi, cool to see him in the game as well. Ranked 82. Of course, he's the father of the Usos. Robert Gibson. I think he's the other guy in the Rock and Roll Express, right? Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson? Yeah. The Rock, multiple versions. So I guess we got Modern Rock at 93, and then we got Classic Rock at 91. Two different versions of The Rock. Very nice. Roderick Strong, currently in the Undisputed Era. This guy is one of the best indie wrestlers of all time. They came to WWE, and for years they didn't really do anything with him. Then they tried to push him in NXT, and then they decided night to night. Again, kind of like the same thing with Johnny Gargano. He's one of the best guys. Technically, he's sound. He could be good on the mic, but they never let him get that opportunity to win the big one. He's currently part of the Undisputed Era, holding those tag team championships in NXT. So, Roman Reigns. Okay, Ronda Rousey, current WWE Women's Champion, got her as DLC content for pre-ordering the game, rank of 87, pretty good. So here's Eric Rowan, the other half of the Bludgeon Brothers, Super Hammer Brothers team, who is currently injured, which is why the team is out. Ruby Riott, the head of the Riott Squad, cool to see her in the game this year. And also a very good wrestler, ranked at 80. Rusev Matria, Rusev Machka, dun 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 dun, Rusev Day. All right, we got Sami Zayn, who I believe he's been out for a long time with an injury. He had a plot. Who was he wrestling? Bobby Lashley, right? I think he got hurt, and now he's been out for like months. So hopefully he comes back soon, because Sami Zayn, in my opinion, again, one of the better technical wrestlers in the company that never gets recognition. He gets pushed and then never wins anything that's any kind of importance, right? So there you go, Sami Zayn. Samoa Joe, currently one of the most crazy, brutal plot lines with AJ Styles on SmackDown Live. I don't know if they're going to continue it or not. Now that he finally cleanly lost to AJ at Super Showdown. But it was pretty nuts. Him showing up at like AJ Styles' house and shit. It's like, what the fuck is this? Okay. Sarah Logan, part of the Riott Squad, the final member of the Riott Squad. I believe, if I remember correctly, she actually was part of the stable, the War Raiders, which was known as the War Machine. And I think she's actually married to one of them. They're currently up-and-comers as a tag team in NXT, but it's weird she got signed and like pushed right away, while the tag team who she was part of the stable with is still in NXT, like waiting for their shot. It's kind of bizarre the way that things happen. You know what I mean? But anyway, Sarah Logan, there you go. Sasha Banks, sadly currently out with injury, but one of the more unique talents in the female division in WWE. Scott Dawson, the other half of the Revival Dash and Dawson tag team. Trying to get some recognition on in the WWE right now, not really succeeding too well. Scott Hall, so I was right. Razor Ramon and Scott Hall, they have the Scott Hall version of him. There we go. Seth Rollins, like I said, probably one of the best wrestlers in WWE today. A very, very high rating here, which is great. 88. Pretty good. Shane McMahon, not surprised he's in the game, although he basically is off WWE TV now. I don't know if he's coming back or not. What's crazy is he's not even a fucking wrestler. He's not even a wrestler. 81 rating, too. Shane Thorne, the other half of the Mighty tag team in NXT. Multiple versions of Shawn Michaels. We have classic late 90s Shawn, part of DX and the Click. Then we've got mid-2000s career revitalization Shawn, which is rated higher. Okay, I was going to say that late 90s Shawn was at the peak, I would say the peak of his performance career. 92 rating is insane, man. So he's way up there. Shayna Baszler, former NXT Women's Champion, actually just recently dropped the title to Kairi Sane, one of the 4 horsewomen of the UFC, along with Ronda Rousey. And the other 2 apparently are also training. So apparently, eventually, we're going to have all 4 horsewomen as WWE talents. Pretty crazy. But, yeah, she's done pretty good in NXT as a female wrestler, for sure. So, Sheamus, the other half of the Bar. Again, A tag team that really, honestly, these guys have done a lot. Well, could do a lot in WWE if they were singles, but for whatever reason, they are a tag team. And also, he has a Hershey's Kiss permanently affixed to the top of his head, as you can see right there. It looks delicious. Shelton Benjamin. I don't know why he's in the WWE. They brought him back. He's done absolutely nothing. First, they put him in a tag team with Chad Gable, which they never allowed to win any matches. Then they went heel. They still didn't win any matches. Then they split them up, and he still hasn't won any matches. Like, they brought him back as like a filler spot, I guess. But it sucks because he's actually one of the best wrestlers in the world as well, and they don't really do anything with him. So, okay then. Shinsuke Nakamura, of course. The rock star, right? The king of strong style. When he was signed to NXT, it was one of the biggest news things in the world, only because he was such a huge talent in Japan, and to get him to WWE was such a huge acquisition. In the last year, since he's kind of hit the main roster, it's been hit or miss, in my opinion. I do feel that his plotline with AJ Styles was way too long and dragged out, with multiple ball shot disqualifications and stuff. It was like, what are they doing here? Now he's a heel. He's not a face anymore. He's a heel. He has one of the best entrance themes in all of WWE, in my opinion, for sure. Like, I really like his presentation and everything. Also, his strong style really is unique and different from what a lot of the guys in WWE do. Currently the U.S. champion. And I forget if he's in a current plotline with anyone right now, because he was in a plotline with Jeff Hardy, and then they abandoned that one to have Jeff wrestle Orton. I don't know if he's currently doing anything. I'm trying to remember, right? Sin Cara. I don't know where the hell he is. He was on SmackDown for a while. They had him at 205 Live and then on SmackDown. I don't even know where the hell he is. The best part is this is not Sin Cara. This is, what's his name? God, I forget his name. The original Sin Cara was released like within like a year of being with WWE because they found that he was going to Mexico and getting like drug injections into his leg that were not allowed by WWE. And basically they got into this big argument about it and he basically just left. But the Sin Cara character was already over. So they gave it to Hunico. That's right. They gave it to this guy named Hunico, who already had been in the company, and his character had tanked. They didn't like him, so they made him Sin Cara. Like, I wonder why Sin Cara all of a sudden has this big tattoo across his shoulder and doesn't have the body of Sin Cara anymore. So anyway, yeah, Sin Cara basically is just a filler, Sonya Deville, who in NXT was pushed heavily as like a former MMA fighter. I don't know if it's actually true or not, or if that was just her gimmick. She still kind of fights like that. Like I said, she's kind of paired with Mandy Rose as a tag team, but they really haven't done anything because they were in this stable with Paige, and then Paige got hurt, so they're just kind of floating around SmackDown with no real guidance or anything. Stephanie McMahon, and it looks like it's actually the modern Stephanie McMahon, which is funny because she cannot wrestle, so I guess they just put her in the game for gimmick matches or whatever. Steve Austin, of course, you're going to have the Texas Rattlesnake in the game. Rating of 92. Very good rating of 92. Excellent to see him in there. The Stinger, recently, inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. It just sucks the circumstances that he had coming to WWE because he came in, old. I wish that he had come younger and he would have been able to have some really amazing matches. Instead, he came in old and pretty much within a couple months of being signed, got hurt. And that was it for Sting. Here's classic Sting. The old surfer gimmick, right, that he had in the 90s in WCW. And then Sting 98, when he joined the Wolfpack, right, in WCW, the Wolfpack of the NWO. And then Sting in 99, dude, they got 4 Stings. And they think that this was the best one. The Crow Sting was the best one, apparently. Holy crap, 4 Stings. 4. Psycho Sid, also known as Sid Vicious. Always was a good talent and wrestler, although also, I hate to say it, some of the most hilarious botches in wrestling history. But he's a really good guy, good talent, and good to see him in the game. Looks nothing like him, by the way. That's probably one of the worst ones in the game. Tamina, what happened to her? She originally was a good talent. Came in, the daughter of Jimmy Superfly Snuka. And was, doing some good stuff, then disappeared for a while, came back during the whole women's evolution era to be part of tag teams and the like. And then after a while was teaming up as a heel and helping out certain people. I don't even know what happened. I don't even know what happened to her. Like, is she even still on the roster? I have no clue. What the hell happened to Tamina? I don't know, man. Tatanka, another classic wrestler back from the 80s. Cool to see him in the game. Native American. Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man, of course. Always awesome to see him in the game with classic heel. Although, where's his bow tie? Sometimes he would wear a collar and a bow tie, which is pretty funny. Titus O'Neil, you know, Titus Worldwide. As I said, a pretty good plotline for him for sure, because after the Primetime Players broke up, he really had nothing to do. And, you know, the Titus Worldwide plotline did really well for a while, but now it's kind of falling apart, so I'm not sure what they're going to do with him. By the way, I should say this, one of the when it comes to, like, nice guys, basically gives up tons of his time for non-for-profit and charity work. And what, you ever heard the phrase "pay it forward"? Probably one of the guys who lives his life via that mantra. So even though he may not be a top guy in WWE, this is a guy that took his positive opportunities in WWE to do really nice things with his life, and he should be very much applauded for that. Okay, TJP, currently one of the guys in NXT. He was a former 205 Live, current Cruiserweight I'm botching now. Former Cruiserweight champion. I like him. He's one of the younger guys at the company. And they made him a heel, and since he became a heel, I think he kind of lost a lot of the luster and push that he had. Basically, they don't let him win matches anymore. He's become kind of the jobber of 205 Live, which sucks because I think he's a really good wrestler. I don't know what happened. Tony Nese, here's another guy, underrated in my opinion, because he's buff, but he's short, so they put him on 205 Live, and he could high fly, he could do technical wrestling, he's got the total package, but they don't give him a push or nothing. Recently, he was on NXT, and he lost to Johnny Gargano. So, Triple H, oh my God, how many Triple H's did they got? Only 2. So they got modern era Triple H, who for some reason is 89. That's insane. He shouldn't be rated that high. Old school Triple H at a 91. I kind of agree with that rating. There you go. Trish Stratus. Hall of Famer, right? And she's going to be coming back for WWE Evolution. The all-women's pay-per-view. And she's going to be wrestling Alexa Bliss. I think they're going to make it a tag team match. I think they announced last night. It's going to be Alexa Bliss and Mickie James against Trish Stratus and Lita in a crazy-ass tag team match. It'll be good to see both Trish and Lita back for the first time in years. But obviously, you know, Hall of Famer, former women's champion, yada, yada, yada. Tucker Knight, the other half of Heavy Machinery. Otis Dosovich is a tag team partner on NXT. Ty Dillinger, oh, man. Ty Dillinger. I'm going to be honest with you. Ty Dillinger is one of those guys. I don't think he's an amazing wrestler. I think he's good, but he's not amazing. But in NXT, he had this gimmick that everyone fucking loved. The perfect 10, right? 10, 10, 10. He would do it during a match. He would do it before the match. He would do it after the match. The crowd responded and loved the gimmick. Now he went to the main roster. No one knew who he was. No one understood the gimmick, and no one did it. So basically, literally, because no one knew who he was, he completely failed as a guy on the main roster. Sucks. Because now he's basically a jobber. He doesn't really do anything. Kind of very, very disappointing. Salomonico Rex cheered and complained that I'm not playing the game. I will be playing the game. DJ Sandex did a 100-bit cheer. Thank you, DJ Sandex. And Fireball Kid Zero has resubbed for the second month in a row. Thank you for the resub, Fireball Kid Zero. Okay. Tyler Bate. Wow. I had no idea he was in the game. Tyler Bate. So, former UK champion. One half of the Mustache Mountain Tag Team. And he's from WWE UK division. And a great wrestler. Like, he's incredibly young. But he is probably pound for pound one of the best wrestlers in the company. He's a great technical wrestler, but also is incredibly strong despite being very short. He's a really great talent and a great up-and-comer. Tyler Breeze, one half of the Fashion Police comedic duo. Sadly, his partner is hurt right now, but cool to see that he's in the game. Ultimate Warrior, really awesome that he's in the game. All right, there you go. Thank you, Ultimate Warrior, for everything you did over the years. Rest in peace, sir. Hall of Famer. Multiple versions of The Undertaker. We've got the current Undertaker at 87 and the classic Undertaker at 88. I don't know if I believe that. I think that, honestly, he should be higher rated, in my opinion. But there you go, version Undertaker. Vader, rest in peace to Vader, who recently passed away. Another one of these big guys who could just do insane shit, you know? He's doing backflips, moonsaults, and crazy flying. One of the best talents ever, in my opinion. Vader. Very nice. Wow, the Velveteen Dream made it in. I didn't think he was going to be in it. So the Velveteen Dream of the last year really has taken off in NXT. Very charismatic. He actually was a tough enough contestant years and years ago. Then he rebranded himself. Basically, Velveteen Dream is basically like Prince. He is a very eccentric, or like Goldust too. Very eccentric, you know, very kind of an oddball character, but you know, he's a very good wrestler in my opinion. So cool. Victor, the other half of the Ascension. That's all I'm gonna say. Xavier Woods, the third member of the New Day tag team and you know, tag team champion, current tag team champions on SmackDown, and Zack Ryder. There you go. That is the roster of WWE 2K19 as it is currently. I know apparently there's going to be DLCs and stuff coming in the future. That is the launch roster. That is a humongous roster. I mean, I'm curious. Counting. Ah! Bone Meal attacked me. I'm counting right now. 80, 90, 100, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. It's about 200 wrestlers. About 200 wrestlers on the launch roster of WWE 2K19. Holy shit. That's a lot of wrestlers. So, if you're looking for the best roster ever in a WWE game, I think they've put it together this year. That is a pretty impressive roster that they've... Pretty much anyone who's on the main shows is there, plus select 205 Live and NXT talents. So that's really cool in my opinion. Very nice. So that's my walkthrough of the roster of WWE 2K19. I hope that you enjoyed it.